Hello friends, you are watching my YouTube channel. I am Manoj Ekka. Today we shall do the second poem of the text, The Cold Within, written by James Patrick Kinney. James Patrick Kinney is an American poet who wrote this poem in the 1960s. Although it was first rejected as being too controversial, it gained popularity rapidly after it had been read out at a council meeting of all religions. The poem describes the tragic death of a group of six who stand around a fire, each holding on grimly log of wood, allowing their selfishness, prejudice, malice, and suspicions to dictate their actions. They refuse to share the log to fuel the dying fire and keep each other warm. Eventually, the fire dies out, and in the morning, all six of them are found frozen to death, each clutching, even in death, a log that could have so easily saved their lives if only they had overcome the petty barriers of class, race, and religion that divided them. The poem is a simple yet powerful reminder that if we selfishly hold on to the world's resources and the wealth that it has to offer, if we persist in discriminating on grounds of race, religion, caste, gender, and ethnicity, we are all lost. So, the poem is this all about. It gives us a useful message through a little story of six human beings who found themselves trapped together in extreme cold. Their fire, their only hope of survival in the cold, was fast dying. Each one of them held a stick of wood. If any one of them gave up his or her stick to feed the dying fire, all of them had the chance to survive. But sadly, no one of them was ready to oblige for one reason or the other. Everybody has their own reason for not giving. It was not the cold without, but cold within, which was sure to perish them. This cold within refers to lack of feelings for others, cruelty, indifference, hatred, so on and so forth. Like a good parable, the poem conveys the idea that we must tolerate, if not love, one another. We should be kind and generous towards our fellow human beings. We should not allow religion, color, or any other prejudice to become mean, selfish, and even self-destructive. Now let us read the first stanza of the text. Six humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story is told. Here you see the poem opens on a dramatic note. It attracts our attention at once by the use of diction. The poet says that six humans get trapped by chance in a very bitter cold. So trapped means they're caught by that situation. The poet, he uses human and not people so as to refer to all human beings. The lines, you see, six humans trapped by happenstance, is to be read carefully. Though the six persons were together in a situation which seems to have been arranged, even though it was accidental. So you see, it seems like it is a pre-planned like that, no? But it is presented as an accidental. That's why the poet has used the word happenstance, you see, an event that is arranged. That's the meaning of happenstance. Now, the six persons were thus in a situation from which there was no escape. So no way you can escape from that situation. They were sitting near the fire which was fast dying. So that fire was getting off. Each of them had a stick of wood. Okay, everybody had one stick of wood, but no one is ready to give. This is how it is told in the story. We later realize that the stick in each hand is the symbol of sin. Let's see the second stanza. Their dying fire in need of logs, but the first one held hers back. For of the faces round the fire, she noticed one was black. So the fire which was dying needed to be fed with logs of wood. The first man was not ready to renounce, to give up his stick of wood to keep the fire burning, because he had noticed that one of them in their group was the black person. He did not want to save the black person. See, this is how. Thus, he acted out of his racial prejudice. So, color deficiency, isn't it? So, he rejected to give because by seeing the black person. So, it is a prejudice, racial prejudice. Now, see the third stanza. The next man looking across the way saw one not of his church, and could not bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. It means that the next man found in the group was a person not belonging to his religion. He could not persuade himself, means he cannot have made himself give up his stick of wood to help a person of another religion. He suffered from intolerance. So a person belonging to another religion, so he found difficult to accept that. Okay, that means he doesn't have any tolerance. Okay, so he suffered from intolerance. You see very clearly written. The next man looking across the way saw one not of his church. Maybe the person was a Christian. So in the Christianity also there is a division. Okay, this church like Roman Catholic Church, Protestant Church, like that. So because of that he was unable to sacrifice the log, the wood, for the other. Now you see the fourth stanza. The third one sat in tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? It is very clear that the third person was a poor man. So he was having a very torn cloth, everything was torn, very poor person. Okay, so he was in that cloth. He was full of bitterness and envy for the rich. Very much anger in him. It was developed for by seeing the rich. He gave his coat a hitch. He will give a pull to his coat, the torn coat, which is suggestive of his tightness. He thought it would be unjust to give what little he had to help others who had more than he. So he doesn't want to give at all to the rich. In no way he wants to help the rich, because maybe the past experiences of that person. So we don't know, but then it is clear that poor, it is a representative one class, that they hate the rich. Okay, so in that case the same he has done. So he has shown his greed and stinginess. So no way he wants to help the rich. Now you see the fifth stanza. The rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store, and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. The fifth stanza, it is very clear that the fourth person is the rich man, and he continued to sit back and think of the money that he had and how he could save it from the lazy poor. So it is said that the more a person having money, it gives much more attention to them. So he did not want to give anything to the undeserving poor. So no way he wants to give any money to the poor, because according to him, he thinks that these poor people are very lazy and they don't work at all, and they easily want to get money from the rich by means of begging. So that's why he is very much uh, in depth a plan that he is no way to give it to the poor, because he had understood their plans, and thus he showed his greed and stinginess. So this is his way of thinking, that how he will not help the poor, and that's why he also gives back the log and doesn't sacrifice it. Let's continue with the sixth stanza. The black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire passed from his sight. For all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. So here the fifth person was a black man. So his face showed how much revengeful he was. As the fire was dying, he thought he had the chance to hurt the white people by keeping his stick with him. He clearly suffered from the vice of spite. So we know the between the black and the whites, the freedom about they wish to get in the past of history of America. So this revengeful attitude already inborn in them, and so this he thought to be an opportunity to take revenge against them, and so that person took it as an opportunity to take revenge against the white person. Next stanza, you see, the last man of this fallen group did not accept for gain, giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. So the last man in the group lacked generosity. So he was very selfish. He only wanted to help those who helped him. So as no one else had given his stick, he would also keep his stick with him. In fact, he did nothing except for gain. So he always wanted only for gain, advantage, profit. So without which he will not go for it. So when he saw that no one among the group sacrificed the stick, so he also decided that he will not give, because there is no advantage in him. He was the person only to give in return if he gets. So that was his policy, that is clearly mentioned about the last man. See the last stanza. Their locks held tight in death's still hands was proof of human sin. They did not die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. The last stanza is the conclusion. It is very vital. It tells that how the fire gets over. It gets extinguished. Seeing in front of them as no one sacrificed, and at the end all the men died. They died not because of the cold that came from outside, but they died because of the cold within, that inside no feelings was there to sacrifice. They died because they were too selfish to help each other. Each of them had a log still in his hand, suggesting that no one had renounced, no one sacrificed. So that is also a kind of sin, being unkind for one reason or the other. They might have given their personal reason why they don't want to give help, but then it is a disrespect towards the life. In this situation, all should have helped each other. In present scenario, you see in our time now, the coronavirus that has come. If every one of us will be like that, all selfish to save oneself only, then what will happen? Isn't it? It is the same timing that we see, that how the 6 men were there and all they died because no one was ready to help one another. But then in our time, when the corona is there, everyone is out to help, especially the doctors, the police personnel, the government, all are working out to help out the needy, the poor, the helpless. So this is a very good lesson, the cold within. So if everyone will be lost from inside, from the cold within, then it will be very difficult in the society to make others live. And human being is a social being. Human being cannot survive all alone. So human being needs someone, some persons to live together. And it is a humanity that we help one another. We solve the problems of others. We become a person of helping hand towards the needy. And this way how a harmonious life, fruitful lives continues. And in this way we praise and worship God who created, gave life to the mankind. It is said the world is more beautiful because you are in it. So, dear friends, don't forget to press like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.